and we have draft up, everybody. Eschaton on the blue side with Hextech on the red. And I want to point out one more time what's going to what we're expecting to see out of the draft. We don't see a lot of assassins in our games. Our buffs have been relatively unrelated to PLC favored champions. I still
Mhm.
think that Aatrox is an exceptionally powerful champion, especially piloted by the top laner from Filmy last tournament. It should be an example to people to try and pick up these champions that are being empowered to be played.
It looks like we do have a Talon ban on the side of Hextech Hotshots.
So banning those assassins that don't really ever get played a whole lot here. I
We do also have Janna, who got banned. A lot of crowd control can come from there, but we have seen her a couple times.
Mhm. Her ban. We just talked about it. We were just watching it, and if the if it's something you can't deal with
Yeah.
properly,
and so knowing sometimes it's not so much about target bans, but also banning champions that your team comp, that your planned composition are weak against.
Mhm. I like this answer. The the Caitlyn taken away because Sivir's taken away, right? If you ban the Sivir, that means you might be wanting to play Caitlyn into the fact that she can do very well. So
Mhm.
taking away a pick at the same time, I like that. The little nuances and fun games that come from these type of things is so much fun.
So far, we've got 3 champions that were played in our last game. Um, Completely different teams, but 3 champions so far that were played getting banned.
I like it though. They're strong champions, they're familiar
Mhm.
champions, they're things that people just plain don't want to see. And that is interesting. What this says to me is Hextech have identified the mid laner from Eschaton as a problem. Talon and
Yes.
Yasuo both taken away. That is so fun to me. I like that. Jin locked in first thing though. That surprises me.
Yeah, he can be easily countered, but it also takes a lot of knowledge of the champion that you're playing and a lot of experience with the champions you're playing to be able to counter Jin.
Hmm. Much more bursty type of build, similar to the
Mhm.
way Ezreal would play. So I respect it. I wonder what they're going to pick to pair it. But the Swain hover and lock in there on the side of Hextech. This is another one of those champions where when the buffs came out, we said we should see more of him, and then we didn't. So this is very post increase in Swain power coming out, and I like it. I think Swain is a very powerful champion.
And if I'm
Xin
not
go ahead.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, there's also a Swain main on Hextech Hotshots.
Ooh, that's exciting.
So we'll see as teams in that group of teams, they have, I think, 2 or 3 Swain players, well, Swain mains in. Mhm.
All right. The Xinjiang right now, they pick Xinjiao quite frequently. The way that he can engage and set up some plays is a lot of fun, but the Xin he's in.
He doesn't have a whole lot of disengage to be able to pull himself out.
Right.
So it depends on what the rest of his team picks on it.
Mid lane, and then Udyr locked in. This is another surprise pick. I don't think we've seen a lot of Udyrs.
Udyr, the potential that I've seen a lot of people with just extremely high damage builds or high tank builds,
Hmm.
the answer in the bot. So the burst damage coming out of Jin is countered by the constant DPS that Kaisa can skin passive gets procced when she gets the stacks of plasma. And so if
Yes.
you're needing to trade 4 shots for him when you can just pop someone instantly with that 4th shot. So I like that pickup there from the side of Hextech Hot Shots. And then because the Gwen got banned, I think Gwen would do really well into the Swain.
Gwen is usually Gwen is immune. And you're trying to root her, pull her in, and Gwen is immune. So you can't get into melee range with her. Her hit points,
making it so you're not really able to stay in melee range with her.
Exactly. I like the Thresh ban as well. He's just one of those champions who does.
he is the lowest magic resist in the game. Lowest base, one of the lowest base magic
can
resists.
infinitely scale armor by picking up the souls. So, you know, you're not wanting to build an armor item on him. So you force him to build magic resistance in that way. And Swain both do good amounts of magic damage. So, I guess, no, sorry, I got that backward. They wanted to. I got it. Don't worry, guys.
Yes.
My brain put it back where it needed to be.
You don't want Wei and Udyr getting. Certainly, you don't want them getting caught out by a very tanky engage here.
But you want to pair a support like that with the Kaisa.
Yes.
So are we going to see like a support? I would rather. Okay, Cho'Gath locked in. I like it. And Cho'Gath has risen in popularity. He's good for that just does not die later on. And when you look at the composition that Eschaton have, there are a lot of bursts, which Cho'Gath counters.
Unless you have a lot of sustain, a lot of heavy damage, like one of the main counters to Cho'Gath is being able to take him down, especially late game. You know, he's got 10,000 hit points. You're still able to dispatch him within a few seconds. Bessa. So a lot of engage, a lot of burst, not so much a lot of sustain on the side of Eschaton here. Sustaining champions, we have Swain, who's notorious for being able to get in and maintain his ult high damage. Looks like we do have that Nautilus being picked, or at least hovered to be picked for the Kaisa support. And looks like probably a Cho'Gath.
Yeah, Cho'Gath would go up in the top side. Swain would go in the middle. I do like the Nautilus pick. One of the reasons you get rid of champions like Threat, you want that away when your marksman in Jin is immobile. Right? His only escape is being really.
And if you can target, it doesn't matter how strong he is. If he's 18, 0, and 7, if you immobilize Jin, he is dead. A lot of that immobilize from Nautilus and Cho'Gath, or even Swain, can easily break that carry.
do a JL, and Bessa is going to do decently into the Cho'Gath. In the mid parts of the game, I would think, because early she needs Liddy haste items. You'll be able to cut through those hit points that don't really get stacking until after level 6. So that's going to be a good match, and it will stop the dive in from the Nautilus. It'll stop the dive in from the Kaisa and from the Xin Shao. And so what we need to set up with the wall slams.
Yes. And
all right, everybody, we are hours, and so we are going to have a slight delay. So you're just going to have to listen to us talk a little bit longer, I'm pretty sure. And we'll try and do our best to entertain long enough. Then we'll probably throw it to a break, but we will keep you apprised as the situation develops. So thank you for your patience, and thank you for your support. We want to make sure
fast presence. She can stop Nautilus. That's one of the biggest advantages that they have.
Putting Poppy in support there is she can stop the Nautilus hook and counter any engages they try to make. She can prevent Xin Zhao from jumping in. She can prevent Kaisa from jumping in. And not so it doesn't have really any use against Cho'Gath or Swain, as they don't have any dashes or jumps or anything like that. But being able to take out 2/3 of the team with that, pretty much ground their mobility with that, ground the engages, and take out the potential lockdown on Jhin. As long as Poppy can time that correctly, as you were saying, Jhin is very safe this game.
So one of the things that I do see on the side of EJL that worries me with their composition is their engage tools. What are they going to use to set up a fight? You can use the curtain call. That's actually a pretty common one where you just stand way far back and slow people down with those giant bullets. Not the best. You can use Mbessa's public execution, but then it always takes you to the farthest champion at the back. And so if you completely isolate yourself from your team, it's not going to go so well. And so EJL are going to have to either get really ahead really quick or figure out some way to circumvent the peel from Hextech and get those engages, because it's going to be really hard. Whereas on the other side, you have a knockup from Cho'Gath, a hook from Nautilus, a grab from Swain, and a jump in from Xin Zhao. You have so many more opportunities to start and end a fight.
And on the converse of that, you also have a lot of bursty pick potential. You can pick a target on the enemy team, and you can say that person is going to die this fight. And then you go to the next person, and then the next. So easily able to dispatch them one by one. But there's, as you were saying, there's not a whole lot of that initial engage on their team. There's a little bit of Poppy being able to isolate a few targets, get them away from the team fight. But this is all after the fight has started. So I can see them wanting to bait the fights from Hextech Hotshots. So they're not looking to start them themselves, but looking to bait them into a bad position.
Okay, I can see that. So with all of that said, while we are doing our pause and our waiting, I want to bring up another thing that was on our latest episode of PCP. I'm pretty sure I know your answer, Billy, so hold on just a minute. But Shazbot, Zeno, and I were talking about how the idea of a champion advocate to Riot. I am told that power is back up, by the way, so we're getting into our second portion of the draft. But a champion advocate, someone with some ridiculous number of mastery to work with Riot and say, hey, this is something that feels kind of bad, or hey, this is an interaction that I noticed These are some bugs that I see and maybe might have abused. Sorry. And having some ambassador for every champion to help the balance team out. We were talking about that, and so I want to hear or see everybody's champion they would want to advocate. So in the chat, everybody, go ahead and type your champion that if you could pick one to just be the ultimate expert on and speak to Riot about and make sure that everything stayed balanced and nice, who would that be? And I am going to call it right now. Billy, yours is probably going to be Galio. Is that right?
Close.
Ah, all right. What do you
Close.
got?
Very close on Galio. Although I do have enough knowledge with Galio to be able to. He's not the one that I would be advocating for. I would probably be advocating for Evelyn. Yeah,
Okay.
if I can speak. So Evelyn, honestly, she's my second highest mastery champion, only to Galio right now.
Mhm.
But that's mostly because I was playing Galio for years, almost an entire decade before Faker picked him up and almost
Right.
ruined my Galio play for me because suddenly everybody knew how to play Galio and knew how to play against him. But my enjoyment on Galio came because nobody knew how to fight him.
Mm,
He wasn't played nearly enough, and people didn't have enough experience against that. But with Evelyn, a lot of people play her. A lot of people play against her. And so a lot of people have this knowledge, but there's a lot of the I'd say my skill on Evelyn is a lot more than my skill on Galio, even though I played Galio a lot longer.
okay. But Evelyn is the choice there.
Yes.
Great choice. Great choice. So we have three answers here in our chat. Nefiri coming out from Shazbot. That is on our PCP episode. Become one of his favorites recently, and for good reason. Nefiri is very, very strong, and pre-rework, he was an advocate for Nefiri. In fact, I remember Shazbot saying we need to see more of this champion even before the rework came through.
We've got a Teemo and an Udyr in the chat as well.
I can respect the Udyr one. I think he would be one of the hardest.
I know your opinions on Teemo.
Which is why I haven't said anything. I'm just gonna leave him there.
But Udyr, so if you remember like old school Udyr, how he was rather clunky to work with at first. If you remember a lot of his abilities, very different than Udyr is now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so like he actually had cooldowns instead of it's just, oh, you've got an ability every 2 seconds and you just chain through them and combo them, and it's a very different play style now than Udyr was initially. Although I would argue that Udyr initially was a lot like Olaf is now.
Okay.
So his play style was very much the same. He was just a top lane bruiser that he took a lot of hits and he dealt a lot of damage. That's pretty much what he was. But after the reworks and after everything else, all those buffs, he kind of got turned into a jungler, a lot less of a laner now.
Yeah. So I do want to talk a bit about the Teemo. I'm gonna be nice because everyone has the right to their opinions and their favorite champions, right? And I don't want to make Ping Pong upset at me. I'm glad that that's the champion that you chose. I think that you will do a great job. That's all. Just wanted to say that. We do have our draft back up. Thank you again for your patience, everybody. This should go relatively quick because it should just be lock, all 20 of them going really fast. So notes from the draft: the Talon and the Yasuo taken away from Shioma. Yeah, we'll go with Shioma. The Caitlyn taken away after Sivir was banned. I think those are great choices here in the draft. I also appreciate the Janna being taken away, because if you think about it, when you pick a champion like Ambessa, you never want Janna to be in your way.
So this is interesting. Either we have the Hextech hotshots in a little bit of a different order, or we've got a jungle Swain and
Hmm.
a top lane Shinjao, and then mid lane Cho'Gath. I'm not sure that that would be very wise against the team comp here from Eschaton with Shioma's Way uh, going up against Cho'Gath, especially with the range that Wei has. He can easily keep him entirely out of lane.
Yeah, it does seem questionable, but I've seen weirder things. All
Yes.
right. We last tournament, I had a channel up where someone made a YouTube series where they jungled with every single champion. And
Yes.
Melio and Nami and Yumi and all these champions, he still did it. He had to get a win on every single champion. So
Instant
to
ban.
I mean, so it's not that unheard of, but I do
Yeah.
agree. I think we do have a bit of a shuffle there, and that's fine. Regardless, like I said, this is going really quick. We have all of our champions locked in.
Almost
Black
locked
Flame
in
trolling
as soon
me.
as Nautilus locks in here.
Yeah, Black Flame is trolling me, but that's okay. It's all good. We have it locked in. We're just got our 3-minute spectator delay, and I oh, loadout time. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right. There's still when this bar goes away, then it's only the 3-minute delay.
Yes.
My apologies. But I really like picking champions like Nautilus to pair with Kaisa. The fact that hard crowd control helps stack the passive makes her immensely powerful when not paired with an enchanter.
And but on the as I was saying earlier, with the Poppy support, being able to counter those engages is going to be pivotal for Eschaton here. And so if Jacob Patapon,
Mhm.
I'm just going to call him Jacob. If Jacob is able to uh, play smartly and time his abilities correctly, then it's going to be a very easy bot lane, a very safe bot lane for Jin.
Right. But what this also means is the bot lane of EJL really needs to keep control of the brush vision. Because
Yes.
if they don't see the Nautilus coming, they can't cast W. Or if he's just gonna walk at you and get the auto attack that roots, that counts. And so there are so many different things they have to track to make sure that they're safe.
And thankfully, Poppy has some tools to be able to keep Nautilus from just walking at them.
Right.
He's anywhere near a wall. If they've got vision in that brush, Nautilus goes near the wall. Poppy's going to be pinning him to that wall and punishing him for that. And Jin easily able to follow up with that with being as long range as he is.
I am also intrigued by Agua's gank path choices. They need to be creative because again, there aren't so many great initiation choices. Now, Hui does have both a fear, a grab, and a stun. So if we're looking at that, if he can combine that with the stun from the Udyr, and maybe they can layer some spells on there, get Hui's passive really doing some extra damage, I can see that. But when you're in the mid lane, they made it a lot harder to gank when they moved the brushes out, right?
Yes.
And so creativity and good map movements, good pressure, maybe combining with a gank from Jacob from the bottom side, getting good support roams. That's what I'm wanting to see out of EJL is the way they move around the map and the way they control vision is what's going to make them successful.
Certainly. And if it is a Xinjiao top lane against Mbessa, there's a lot of counter engage that Xinjiao has on that. Being able to just keep Mbessa away, like if she wants to dive on him, he's easily going to be able to knock her up or heal off of the hits with his 3-hit passives. And I use the plural on that intentionally. It's not just one passive that he has on the 3 hits. He's got his ability passive. He's got his actual passive. He's got so he has a lot of potential to be able to lock her down if she decides to tower dive him.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, everybody. We are now done with our delay. We're in that loading screen. We'll be on the Rift any moment. So let's see in the chat, who do we think has the composition that will come out ahead? Throw in EJL or HH in the chat, and we'll see what everyone says. I'm thinking that I favor Hextech Hotshots draft. That one feels a little bit more standard. And so I would give the edge there.
So
Go ahead.
yeah, in terms of team comp, I would certainly give it to Hextech Hotshots. And it also comes down to the skill of the players. You could have a absolutely solid team comp, but if your players aren't playing those champions as well as they could, then that's where the pocket picks come in. The From EJL, you've got that Udyr jungle. You've got there aren't necessarily pocket picks necessarily, but the lack of engage can still be used to your advantage if the other team isn't playing as well as they could be.
Right. All right. We're told that there was another power issue, but it should be back. Oh. It was a spectator issue. My apologies. All right, but now that has been resolved, we're getting into the game. I do see a split here with the chat. Pang Pong and Yachi Kyunga. I think I got that. Both say that EJL have the edge according to draft. So this is really exciting. It's a contentious, not contentious, right? Nobody's angry, but
it's I wouldn't say conflict either. That's the word that was coming to mind, but a friendly competition between.
There you go.
Still not quite the word I'm looking for with that, but maybe chat can help us.
Maybe chat can help us. But I am still excited. I want to see, when you think about level 1, there are some champions who just win level 1. I think that there's a hierarchy of them. For example, Braum, one of the best level 1 champions there is. Easy. You do not invade a Braum. I think Nautilus is another one of those champions when you're not dealing with a Blitzcrank, when you're not dealing with a Thresh, and you're not dealing with a Braum. I think Nautilus is really high on that list. So what I would really like to see is the Hextech Hotshots pushing forward and maybe getting the invade, but they don't. Regardless, everybody, thank you again for your patience. This is game number 2 of the July Progenitor League Circuit Tournament. We have Eschaton Judgment Last Light against Hextech Hotshots. Got ourselves some good drafts. Got a nice battle lines going up here, and game number 2 is underway.
It looks like I was correct with the lane positioning being a little bit off from Hextech Hotshots there. We do have Cho'Gath in the top lane, we do have Swain in the mid lane, and we do have Xin Zhao in the jungle.
Yeah, and not surprised. I don't think that many, if any, of our dance party it just occurred to me what they were doing up there. The top laners are just dancing a little bit. That's very nice of them. What good sportsmanship, right?
Yes, very. I love to see that. It keeps people from tilting when you're doing that, honestly.
Yeah. But I don't think much of our discussion really changes based on the positioning here.
No.
All right, engage here on the bottom side. This is important, right? Black Flame setting up those stacks. Lord Tevar can get one auto attack, proc the passive, and that's an instant burst win. Engage up on the top side. No, just trades. Or trades.
Yeah,
we do
mostly just trades that we're seeing so far, as we're going to be seeing at this point in the game.
Level 2 for Nerimiru needs to pushes Cho'Gath away, but there's the first anchor toss into the root. Next root onto Jacob. Ignite in, flash forward, first blood. Lord Tevar picks it up.
Very good job there. Definitely a solid demonstration of that Nautilus. But interesting taking the pick out onto Poppy. Especially early game, it could be advantageous to keep Poppy down, because as soon as she starts scaling, you get that.
Here comes the gank. EJL gets caught, and Wazy picks up the kill. Namaririo, wow. Nero Miru.
Neromaru.
That's the one. Goes in, but the big story here is the movement from Black Flame. We were talking about that. Having your support sync up with your other lanes is going to be massive for the side of the Hextech hot shots. And it's already in their favor. 2 out of the 3 kills to get the feats are in. Right
And
up
if
on the
Zerg
top
can pick
side,
this up,
Nero
it's looking-
gets the shield. Zerg makes it out.
Yeah, it's looking fairly even here in the top lane. Zerg and Nero. I'm just gonna call him Nero. So
Mm-hmm. Trying to engage on here to clear some vision, but they are pushed out. EJL have some good pressure on the bot side. They might be met on the Scuttlecrab fight. No, they're going to be able to secure it. Movement around the map in favor of Hextech Hotshots. Lava Slide going to get engaged onto Shioma. He'll make it out, but the pullback in from Wazy, that was real clean. But now the engage from EJL is here. Wazy wants to hold on to his flash. He is going to get stunned against the wall. Will he survive? He flashes away. Agua doesn't get pulled in, but Jacob does, and Wazy will make it out, but no mana, no health. Lava Slide going in onto Shioma just to run. Jacob wants to get some damage down onto him, and action. These guys are going crazy already.
yes, Hextech Hotshots certainly living up to their name here, and Wazy on Swain. I believe he is one of these Swain mains that I have seen many times before, and that we have seen a few times on stream here. And he is a very good Swain player for being a Swain main.
Alright. Another fight up top. Zerg does not get the rupture onto Nero, but Nero is on the chase. Zerg might have to flash here. He has it available, gonna get the knockup, but it doesn't matter as Nero takes the first kill on the top side.
And we can see that bot lane also has a little bit of a gold advantage here. Has a lot of on-hit damage already, while Jin's getting a lot more of the flat damage. But everywhere else, it seems to be fairly even. We've got a little bit of gold going over to Swain in the mid lane, being up on
Another
CS
gank up
there.
top. Zerg flashes. Agua doesn't get the stun. He throws down the rupture. Doesn't get anybody in it. Agua going to take some turret shots. Nero goes back in. He's really low, but Agua will secure the second kill for EJL up on the top side.
Another interesting thing.
Sorry,
It's-
going to interrupt you again. It's Black Flame. They're going after Wazy. He's going to flash. Ignite is down. And just pressure. Again, Hextech Hotshots.
And certainly a very hot game here. Very action-heavy game. 2 for 2 right now. Feats could go either way still. But, Zerg playing Cho'Gath. It's very appropriate.
You do have a good point.
He's a giant Zergling.
Speaking of Zerg, look at his Keystone. That's Halo Blades on the Cho'Gath.
Yes. So,
That's-
utilizing those auto attacks with his abilities, and
Next engage onto Agua. He's going to get rooted. His shield is there for just a second, but Lava Slide sets up Tavar. He picks up Feats of Warfare. Jacob goes down, and now it's 4-2, and that's going to give the Drake over to the Hextech Hotshots.
and having that Drake gets them even more advantage towards claiming the Blessing of Noxus here.
Absolutely. I love these games, but Shioma probably doesn't so much. He will throw down the Spiraling Despair, but that's going to be another kill for Lava Slide. Now 2-0 on the Xin Zhao. And yeah, the Hot Shots looking pretty happy to just run around and fight everybody they can. That's going to be a turret plate plus. I think you might actually get 2 here for Wazy. That's big on the Swain, who is already 20 CS up.
So, having that CS advantage, having everywhere else winning their lane, they're not so worried about top lane with Cho'Gath. They're not entirely worried that he's not scaled yet.
Right.
He's very much a late game champion. especially up against an early game champion or a mid game champion like Mbessa.
Flash forward to get the stun with the anchor. Jacob is now caught. Dash in with the... Oh, Killer Instinct, that's what it's called. Tavar is going to pick up the kill. He's going to take one more turret shot. He lives with 10 health. Jacob flashes forward to pick up the kill. Now has to run away. Cannot get to the Butler in time, and Jacob will be taken down by Wazy, who gets the roam and is still ahead on the CS. Zerg against Nero. He's going to get the silence, but it is not quite enough. Rupture again will get the knockup. Public execution onto Lava Slide, but he goes back in, throws Agua right on top of his top laner, but he'll pick up the kill. Agua in a 1v2. Zerg to get the knockup. Come back in. Does he have the feast? He does, and he will chomp down on the Udyr.
And
I'm wrong, that wasn't it.
so,
No feast.
yeah,
Go
no
ahead.
feast there. His feast was used on a minion earlier, but the knockup onto Mbessa there to keep her from getting away, just with that third hit on Xin Zhao, certainly made that play. We can see here that the Hextech hotshots are coming ahead very hard, very strong, especially in the early game, and they're playing their champions quite well.
You know, the most credit, I think, so far has to go to Lava Slide. He has been everywhere on the map. He's 305. That's 50% kill participation right now. And everywhere he goes, something good for the hot shots happens. So EJL, I think, need to find a way to track him just a little bit better and catch him coming in, because once Xin Zhao is in a fight, he doesn't get out. He either kills you or he dies. And so I think that they can set that up. But another engage here onto Mukasoi. No route to come through. Mukasoi is still alive. Agua has shown up. Down go the curtains. They are called. Tavar is being body blocked by Black Flame. They get a lot of damage. Ignite is down onto Agua. Teleport in for Wazy. They do stave off the engage, but they are really low for it.
And the amount of range that Swain has with his E, just being able to, from mid lane, almost from mid lane, he walks down just a tiny bit, just roams a tiny bit to essentially zone bot lane off.
Look at this damage here onto Shioma. Wazy is going to pop the Demonic Ascent. He will go on a killing spree, and because he's healing so much, he gets out of turret range.
And there's also a lot of mobility from Nautilus here. We can see that his kill participation was 2/3 until just now. He's been all over the map just as much as Xin Zhao has. It looks like we do have a Black Fire Torch as well on Wazy. That's going to be very strong, especially with stacking that Dark Seal.
Definitely. Now, one thing that we haven't talked about yet, because it's a little hard to see, but we'll get to it in a second. Lava Slide wants to go in onto Agua because Black Flame is already here. He will hook onto the wall, but he'll get the ultimate. Agua is going to go down. Lava Slide now on a rampage, 4-0 on the Xin Zhao.
Without a way to counter that engage, the Eschaton Judgment Last Light is really being punished for their champion choices. Their only defense against that is Poppy, and she can only be so many places at once.
Dive under the turret. Nero almost gets the outplay, jumping over to Zerg, but Lava Slide now 5-0. Tavar fighting Mukasoi underneath the turret is going his way, and more the hot shots are trying to take over this game. They're looking really, really strong.
And again, solid comps are better than a lot of pocket picks. We have a lot of great choices.
Tavar wants to go in. The barrier is there, but the Killer Instinct gives him a shield that keeps him safe. Agua versus Black Flame. He's gonna get some damage there. He's got pressure. Jacob's on the way. They pick up the stun. but he is being led into the hands of Wazy. Tavar has joined the fight as well, and the engage was not enough. Jacob is going to boot away Tavar, but he is low, trying to get something down on the Black Flame. He flashes over the wall. Jacob will make it out, but he baited his jungler into his death again.
So, with that, they're also able to safely take Dragon, get more of those objectives. I believe that Dragon will give them feats, and so feats of slaying right here, feats of monster slaying goes over to Hextech Hotshots, and they have the Blessing of Noxus.
Yes, they do. Nero trying to get away from Zerg here. He is low enough. Oh, but the Feast doesn't make it work. The W shield is there, and the Ignite will secure the kill. Zerg goes down. Flash forward from Black Flame to catch Nero, but Ambessa does not simply be caught. Gonna have to keep casting those spells because Black Flame is on the hunt.
Barely out of range of that hook. It was so close. And just being able to, but following up in other areas, that the mobility on this Nautilus is insane.
Yeah, he already has his tier 2 boots. He's wandering around and doing everything that he can. He is a danger to the side of EJL. So good for them for moving around the map, the hot shots. And, EJL are starting to get pushed further and further out of this game. Agua and Nero underneath their turret in a 2v2. Black Flame is there. Lava Slide jumps in. Black Flame is low, and now it's a 1v2. Does he go back in? Do they have the damage? Wazy has actually come back in. Wazy goes unstoppable, and now it's Nero versus 3. Nice stun there from Jacob, but is it enough? Shoima gets the ultimate down on the Lava Slide, but it's not enough damage. He is still alive. Everyone is still alive. Shioma goes down, and that's a double kill for Zerg, bringing him right back in. It's now 18-4.
The 3-hit healing on Lava Slide, that Xin Zhao is strong, but also the Boots of Swiftness on Swain.
Yeah.
Very good choice, especially if they don't have a lot of ways to get you off of them, they don't have a lot of hard crowd control. Swiftness is a perfect option for Swain to just stay on top of the entire team.
Exactly. And when he turns that Ruby Crystal and Amplifying Tome into the Rylai's Crystal Scepter, it's going to be even easier for him to stick. And, that's worrisome for the side of EJL.
Lava Slide is certainly using his abilities to tempo not just through his own jungle, but through the enemy jungle here. And just quickly clearing them, essentially suppressing Udyr and keeping him down.
Let's take a look at our CS numbers because... Oh, sorry, I was in the dark there for a second.
Yeah, so CS, we've got 122 on Xin Zhao to 89 on Udyr. Cho'Gath being a little bit behind, about 20 CS behind Ambessa, but he's got his Heartsteel, he's stacking, he's going
Here's
to
our
be very
fight
good.
over the Herald. They want to get it munched. That's a boon for the blue team. EJL are able to secure that. Nero in a 1v3 almost, and he just might make it out. He's dodging everything. It takes all 3 of them to take him down. And now Shioma might be in some trouble. The Prey Seeker. No.
Bot lane, we do have Poppy and Jhin pushing that in, hoping to maybe get an objective bounty there with the tower. As we don't see anybody responding from Hextech Hotshots yet on that.
Xin Zhao is on the way, stopping for a Gromp Burger before making it. And this is another thing about Jhin, is he doesn't take turrets very quickly. Wazy is here. Vision of Empire forces the flash. Now Jacob is caught out by Lava Slide. Tavar has shown up. They're going to get the root and a nice eject, but Jacob still goes down to Tavar. And Tavar is going to pick up a second one. That's 2 kills now more for the Kai'Sa, 6-1.
Yeah, Hextech Hotshots are certainly pulling it through this game. And as I was saying at the beginning, if they have the skill on those champions, this is going to be an easy game for them.
Yeah. Now, EJL like I was saying, they've got to keep their vision. They've got to keep cool. They've got to let their Hui scale. I think that's one of the really big things here is you got to get him some gold and get him some items so that he can fight these guys. He is pulled underneath the turret. Black Flame is in some trouble. He's knocked up against the wall in turret range, and that shut down gold over to Shioma.
So funneling that gold onto that carry there, especially with the range and sustain potential that Shioma has on Hui, and getting a Blackfire Torch as well. Starting to stack up a Dark Seal as well, it looks like.
And, why not? It gives you mana, it gives you ability power, and it stacks. If you can start getting those, then it will be beneficial for sure. Hero is doing well into Zerg up on the top side. It's one of the matchups in favor of EJL entirely, especially with that empowered recall dodging out the rupture, getting the tempo right. But that's sole point now on the side of the hot shots. So EJL have to be careful. I really think this is the time to turtle and to go as a team and try and get some vision out there so they can spot these plays coming and counter engage like we discussed in the draft.
Yes, they also have Rift Herald and 2 towers that are low. If they are able to eke that through, get the objective bounty on the turret, they could easily turn this around, especially if they can funnel that gold onto their carries. If they can get that onto Jin or onto Hui, then they can easily have them turning this game around for them.
Black Flame is trying to play a game of chicken here. He's right around the blast cone. He has no allies, but the side of EJL don't know that, and so they are trying to just posture around, make sure that they don't get caught, while the rest of the HTH have collapsed now. Agua has to be really careful because they are all right there. He's caught by the hook, caught by the never move. He's under the turret. Black Flame will pick up that kill. There are no minions, and so they probably won't be doing a whole lot of damage here to this turret. They're trying to use the Void Grubs, but they don't count. So they'll take the turret, but it's going to take forever. Zerg going to 1v1 against Nero up on the top side. Ultimates are available from both champions. Nero is much more mobile, and he will make it out.
And sometimes you just have to say, we don't need minions. We're going to take this tower anyway. We're tanky enough. We have Nautilus, who is easily able... He has more than enough armor to take a good 10, 15 tower shots, and we can take this before then.
Especially with his W and the Locket of the Iron Solari, he's got extra shields. So they not only take the mid lane turret, they will push up to Otacon, but mid lane turret for the side of EJL, that's that bounty you were talking about. And now up on the top side, Nero is going to push with the Herald, try and get it down to the bottom lane. I love these types of plays. He's going to knock up Wazy, try and knock up Black Flame, but it's not enough. Lugasoy is caught. He's going to get the root down on the Black Flame, but Tavar is now on a rampage, taking him down.
So, getting that bounty onto that mid lane turret is certainly good for them, but it's who you want that bounty to go onto. And
Shioma is caught. Flashes over the wall. Wazy doesn't get him. But no, they want to give the kill to Wazy. Lava Slide will pick it up. They were trying so hard to give it directly to Wazy, but it will go to Lava Slide. And the Hextech hotshots are doing quite a lot of hard, heavy work. I think they're about to crack the base, Billy.
yes, it certainly looks that way. They have Cho'Gath keeping Mbessa occupied in the bot lane, and the rest of them are right there in mid, threatening the blanking on the word, but threatening their base here as they take the inhibitor.
Inhibitor number 1 is down, and Mbessa has left the Cho'Gath, meaning that Zerg is ready to take out yet another inhibitor and just keep pushing hot shots even closer to the victory here at 22 minutes. The hook is going wide from Black Flame every once in a while, but there are no minions left. They engage here from Black Flames. Shioma gets hit first. Underneath the turrets, the curtains are called. They're trying to do the damage they can. Can they pick up a couple kills here? The Spiraling Despair doing quite a lot of damage. Shioma will get some shutdown gold. Shutdown also over to Mukasai. And there are 3 dead on the side of the Hextech Hotshots. Lava Slide and Tavar are also very, very low, and they traded for 4.
And Shioma being able to easily just walk back to his base here, get full hit points under the fountain, and
Bar dives underneath the turret. He's got the Spiraling Despair. That's going to be another kill over to Shioma. Lava Slide going to get stunned underneath the turret. He's not dealing any damage, so he doesn't take aggro. He jumps on to Jacob here to get some damage. Gets the lifesteal like you were talking about. Gets Conqueror as well. Jumps, flash from Jacob. Lava Slide throws people away with the Crescent Sweep. He's slowed by the Smite, and he almost heals enough to go fight again, but that is shut down over to Mukasoi. And EJL, hold on for just a bit longer.
And they're potentially in a position to contest this dragon, but Hextech Hotshots is hot on that, looking to take that objective from them, getting Dragon Soul with that. Or actually, this is this Elder? Or this is Soul. This is Dragon Soul on Red Drake. So
Yep.
Soul Point here, and they're in a position where they can contest it, but they're going to need Mbessa down for that.
I was going to say,
top lane, yeah.
you would need someone else because Agua doesn't have Flash. He has Ghost instead. And so the only way that was going to work is if we got the Keeper's Verdict to slam the entirety of Hextech away and then Agua run around the side. And that's just not a viable way to steal a Drake. And so Hextech looking with the Cloud Soul to get one more push. There are no turrets left protecting this Nexus. And the side of EJL have to be careful because if they lose this fight, they lose the game.
And this puts Hextech's Hotshots in a very good position to push other lanes. If they have that mid lane pushing in, threatening the Nexus itself, they're easily able to go take another tower, either bot lane or top lane. Looks like they are going to go bot lane.
Slide gets the re-engage onto Agua. He will get the kill. Spiraling Despair onto Zerg, but it won't catch anybody else. Lava Slide going in, gets knocked out by the Keeper's Verdict. Black Flame gets a kill up on the top side. Wazy pushing forward with Tavar, and that's going to do it, everybody. An ace there. Hextech Hotshots are going to take game number 2.
Congratulations, everybody. That was certainly a great game.